Hey, what's happening everyone? This is the video you've been looking for to convince yourself to buy this drone. My name is Danny McGee, and in this video, I'm gonna show you 5 reasons why the DJI Avata is such an awesome drone. I absolutely love flying the thing. It handles super well, and honestly, there's just a ton of really good things about this drone, but I narrowed it down to my top 5. If you haven't already, make sure you check out this video here, which is my top 5 worst things about this drone, because there are definitely flaws with this drone, like with any new piece of technology, because this drone definitely isn't for everyone. So make sure you go check that out after you're done watching this one. And reason number 1 is this drone just flies right out of the box. Some of the biggest hurdles when it came to FPV in the past was honestly just getting a freaking drone that would get into the air. You could be an amazing pilot at the simulator, but when it came to actually getting a drone that's in the air, there's so many different little components and stuff that you need to get working, especially if you're just getting into it. But now with this drone, you literally just take it out of the box, change a couple settings, activate it, and you're good to go. The next thing that I freaking love about this drone is that it finally has good stabilization, because they made it compatible with gyro flow. And if you're not familiar with kind of how FPV in the past works, most people shoot on GoPro just because once you shoot on GoPro unstabilized, you can actually pull it into the GoPro Real Steady software and make super shaky footage like perfectly silky smooth. In the past, you've never been able to do that with the first DJI FPV, but now with the Avata, you can take footage straight off the drone, upload it to your computer, and stabilize it with gyro flow, and it looks amazing. And that's why you saw a lot of people with the original DJI FPV just strapping a GoPro on top so they could get that stabilization. They do give you the option to have internal stabilization with Rocksteady if you don't want to do all the post-processing, but in my opinion, it's just worth the extra effort to get perfectly stabilized footage. The next thing that I love about this drone compared to the first DJI FPV is just the size. With FPV, one of the best parts about it is you can totally customize your drone to whatever you're filming. For example, if you're flying through a building or like super close to people, you're not gonna wanna fly the first FPV because you might honestly like run into someone or run into a wall or something and cause a lot of damage.
No, that's a lot of damage!
But with this drone, it's super small and has these really durable prop guards. So whether it's just like to protect the drone when you're crashing or to protect people or walls or whatever you're flying close to, this drone is awesome and it just fits through smaller spaces. I've crashed this drone a ton of times and it's still holding up super well. At least this one is still in great condition. One of my DJI Avatas is hanging off a cliffside in Hawaii, so if anyone wants to go rappelling and look for it, I'll send you the location. But I already tried and it's really freaking hard to get to, so pretty much RIP to that drone. But in general, if you run into other things and not off the side of a cliff, the drone will be totally fine. The next thing that I love about this drone is that it's so awesome for beginners. There are 2 big hurdles for people coming into the FPV world. One is actually getting a drone up and into the air. Like I talked about before DJI came into this market, it was pretty complicated to get an FPV drone that was actually working. You had to watch like 50 YouTube videos to connect all the different pieces and everything, and it was just super frustrating, and that was a giant hurdle for a lot of people. Back when I first started like 4 years ago when everything was still analog, it was so freaking complicated. It took me such a long time to finally get one in the air. But then DJI came out with the V1 FPV drone. That one and this one, you literally, like I said before, take it out of the box and you're good to go. And the number 2 issue that people ran into was just not crashing. When you're first flying, you're learning, and of course you're gonna crash a bunch of times. If you're not crashing, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. But the problem with their first FPV drone, for beginners at least, was you didn't have prop guards or anything. So if you did crash, you'd likely break a propeller or snap one of the little arms off. And that drone was just super overpowered. So for someone who's just learning, you don't really need a drone that goes 80 miles an hour or whatever it was. It's fun and it's super nice when you actually know what you're doing, but for beginners, it was just kind of tricky. To get good at FPV, you need to crash, and the DJI Avata is certainly the most crashable FPV drone, if that makes sense. You can crash it a ton of times, and I haven't had any problems with it, so it's really great for beginners. Lastly, I just want to talk about the range and connection of this drone. First off, the new goggles are freaking incredible. Like I said, when I first started flying FPV, I was still flying analog, and with analog, you put the goggles on, and you didn't really have much of an idea if you were gonna hit anything or not. If you were flying through bushes or something, small little things wouldn't really show up that well. So you were kind of just flying a little bit in the dark, but with the new goggles, you see everything. And in addition to just being way more fun to fly, it also allows you to see a lot more obstacles. On top of that, the range is amazing. The new system is super solid, allowing you to fly this drone further than ever before. Typically when you fly FPV, you want to be relatively close to your subject when you do, but with this drone, you can be super far away and the connection and latency is really good. I've gotten amazing range with this drone, whether it's like flying up a mountain or just flying super far away. I haven't had many issues. And the nice part about this drone too, if you do get too far away, it'll have a hover feature that just automatically returns it to you. And then another thing with FPV, specifically these smaller Cinewhoop drones, is a lot of times you're gonna be flying them through buildings and stuff, and connection through objects is also really good. A lot of times for my job, I'll be flying through hotels or golf course clubs or something, and I'll be flying from pretty far away because I don't wanna be in the shot. And as I'm flying through, I just get really bad connection or the drone just completely disconnects. So I have to stitch two shots together. But with this one, I can pretty much fly through all the hotel or golf course clubs or whatever it is without any range issues. So as far as like penetration, that's a really strange word. As far as like getting the connection through objects and walls and stuff, this drone is great. So that's it. If you guys have things that you'd like to add to this video, just make sure you leave them down in the comments down below. And like I said, make sure you check out this video, which is my top 5 worst things about this drone, just so you get both sides, because this drone definitely isn't for everyone. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you for supporting me, and make sure you check out this video, and I'll see you on the next one.